Okay, I just want to start by saying I'm not sure how long it's going to take me to read this story, but if it does take me for the full length of the video, the ending part of the video, I am talking, I am doing stuff. It makes sense if you watch it, but this video, this story, if it's not too long, I will include the talking in the end portion. The only reason I tell you is because if you cannot hear me, if I continue to read the story all the way to the end of the video and you are interested in this specific video, I do have another page where I do time-lapse only videos of just me doing whatever random videos I want to time-lapse. It is called Bootleg and Bored. And I will hopefully remember to leave it attached. All right, so I am here. Let me see if I can get back, because the story not trying to let me be great. Okay, so I am here on OrlandoSentinel.com, and I apologize, I am not going to include any visual of the story. I'm just going to read it while you enjoy the video. And this is, again, going to be a time lapse of a glow-in-the-dark 500 feet piece hide and seek puzzle. I loved it. I did enjoy it, and I do say that, but I just want to include it again just in case I talk too much from this story that I'm about to read and you don't get to hear my words. So again, I'm here on OrlandoSentinel.com, and this story is old. It's from June 28, 2019, and the title is Scott Nelson Verdict. Guilty of first-degree murder and killing of Jennifer Fulford. I found this case recently. I saw a video of him on the stand, and I've seen it before, but I watched it this time and figured out what happened. So I'm going to read this, and I'm going to hope and pray I can get through this quick. So we appreciate you, Monavet Cordero. I'm going to say I got it right. You can't see what I'm reading, so poochie. A jury found Scott Edward Nelson guilty of first-degree murder Friday for kidnapping Jennifer Fulford from her employer's Winter Park home during a 2017 robbery, killing her and dumping the body in a field. The 12-member jury began deliberating about noon and needed only 4 hours to reach a verdict. I wonder what took so long. Some of these instances I wanted to do, they be just actually be having. I don't know. I be just wondering. Some of these cases, like Daryl Brooks. I mean, I know you don't want to come right back. Maybe get lunch. Okay, so maybe that's what it is. I'm going to just say. I don't want to figure it out. As it was read, Fulford's husband, Robert, and his family held each other and wiped tears. Though Nelson had no visible reaction, the family did not comment after the verdict. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty for Nelson, 55. Jurors will decide whether Nelson will face capital punishment or life in prison at his sentencing hearing, which begins Monday morning. During closing arguments early Friday, both sides agreed Nelson had killed Fulford, as he admitted on the witness stand the day before. You have to see him admitting this the day before. That is what I saw. But his defense team, hoping to convince jurors to convict on the lesser charge of second-degree murder, argued Nelson didn't plan the killing in advance. Prosecutors told jurors he intentionally killed Fulford, 56, so she wouldn't be able to to identify him as her kidnapper and testify against him. There was some suggestion by Mr. Nelson that it wasn't his intent to kill Mrs. Fulford. Assistant State Attorney Linda Drain Burdick told the jury Friday. Can there be any question that Mr. Nelson had more than enough time to reflect on what he was about to do? If not during the drive, once he got there, once he wrapped her head so tightly she couldn't breathe. Nelson, in his testimony, blamed his federal probation officer for the murder. He did. He really, really, really did. The officer calls Nelson a transient on federal probation from a 2010 bank robbery to lose his job and become homeless, Nelson claimed. Nelson told jurors he planned to shoot the officer, but God was looking out for him, talking about the officer. He said Fulford's death was collateral damage. Money was the reason he decided to rob the Winter Park home of Reed Berman, where Fulford worked as a caregiver and house manager. I was starving to death on the streets of Winter Park, Nelson told jurors. I was hungry, which means it's everybody else's fault. He doesn't have to take care of himself. It's too hard. It's too hard. Can't eat from the woods, can't eat from the trees. Okay, it's too hard. On September 27, 2017, Nelson pushed his way inside the home with a knife after Fulford opened the door just before noon to collect a UPS package. He told detectives in a recorded interview after his arrest. A minute later, a panicked Fulford called Janet Grimm, an art business owner who was coming to install artwork at Berman's home. I'm sorry. Let me stop. I got a call from school. Grimm said Fulford told her, claiming Berman's son needed to be picked up early. I have to get him. I have to go get him. Don't come over. The school hadn't actually called. Prosecutors believe Fulford was trying to protect others, including Berman, who Nelson said he wanted to kidnap for money. He didn't count on something. Assistant State Attorney Kelly Hicks said while staring down Nelson, he didn't count on Jennifer Fulford being stronger than him. He didn't count on her not cooperating with him. After restraining her with zip ties, Nelson wrapped Fulford in a comforter and put her in the trunk of her own car, driving her to a Wells Fargo ATM machine to withdraw $300 from her account, he told detectives. After leaving the bank, Fulford said she couldn't breathe while wrapped in the comforter and was afraid he would kill her, Nelson told detectives. Her phone kept ringing with calls from family members excited to share news from Texas about the birth of her new grandchild, who Fulford planned to meet the next day. Nelson took Fulford to a vacant lot on Fenton Street near Vineland Road. I don't know, Apopka. Apopka, Vineland Road. She cried and pleaded for her life, Nelson told detectives. But he decided to kill her. I'm not going to let this, testify against me. It just say expletive. Testify against me, Nelson told detectives. She wouldn't stop screaming, so I duct taped her whole expletive, which means effing, I'm assuming, head. I duct taped her whole effing head. Oh, I can say fucking. I forgot. I be cussing on this channel. I forgot. So yeah, he duct taped her whole fucking head because she wouldn't stop screaming. Okay. On the witness stand, Nelson claimed that much of what he said in the interview, October 1, 2017, was untrue. He had offered detectives a confession in exchange for better treatment in custody, including a single cell with a bottom bunk and more food or a food server job, court records show. Nelson testified he drove around with the restrained Fulford for about an hour looking for a place to dump her alive. They have the dump her in quotes, and then they have a dash alive because, yeah, that's what he wanted to say, so they just trying to keep it all legal. That was his testimony. I never intended to kill that woman, Nelson told jurors. It was not in my heart to do that. She had never done anything to me. I can't believe he mentioned his heart, only because if you watch him talk about it. Orange Oscala. What's his name? I don't know. Oscala. I don't know. Medical examiner Joshua Stepney. Oscalea. Okay, so Orange Oscalea medical examiner Joshua Stepney testified duct tape was wrapped tightly around Fulford's face that it could have led to her suffocating. Several of the stab wounds, including one to the heart, would have caused her to bleed to death, Stephanie added. Fulford's body was found face down in the field September 30th, 2017, wrists and ankles still bound. After leaving Fulford's car in the parking lot of the Colonial Town Publix, Nelson told detectives he headed to the Winter Park station to catch a train to Jacksonville. While waiting, he got a whole pizza at the nearby 7-Eleven. After everything that's been going on, here I am back in Winter Park and nothing's changed. Nelson told detectives, a girl is dead and I still have complete contempt for Winter Park. It didn't make me feel any better. Still, Nelson told detectives he enjoyed every bit of his pizza as he watched people near the station. He said he hated Winter Park's wealthy community because they have everything by the balls. I took my blood pizza because somebody died for me to get this fucking pizza. It's a expletive, but I'm deep in this shit now. He said on the audio, little did they know what I had to do to get this freaking pizza. Nelson's defense attorneys tried to convince jurors the killing wasn't calculated. Fulford started to get loud. Assistant Public Defender Robert Lair said he starts getting worried about her making enough noise of her being discovered. Nelson put duct tape on her face to stop her from making the noise. Lair said he doesn't really know what he's going to do. He's confused, Lair told jurors. At that point, he started to get upset and irrational. But prosecutors argued premeditated intent to kill can develop quickly, and Nelson's actions showed his true intentions. It is entirely irrelevant if he intended to kill her when he knocked on the front door, Hicks said. When he's stabbing her, that's not one stab wound. This is 7 stab wounds. This is taking duct tape and wrapping it around and around and around her head so that she can't breathe. That takes time. At the time he is doing that, can there be any other intent other than he wanted her dead? This story, when I saw this man on the stand talking what he was talking, blaming who he was blaming, was amazing to me. My mouth was open, my eyes was wide, just like when I came upon Darrell Brooks. I've never in my life seen some of the stuff or heard of some of the stuff or believed some of the stuff would actually happen that I'm seeing now in real life. So I'm just amazed. I'm amazed in a horrible way, a terrified way. Yeah, Lord, I wish I didn't have to be a part of this world that these people are allowed to be in. But yeah, I'm just trying to be safe. Y'all be safe. Y'all make sure if y'all see somebody who needs some help, y'all help them. But if it's your people out there acting like this, you make sure you tell your people to act better. You get them people medicated. Don't be letting these people just out on the streets randomly being dangerous to other people when you know they're a little special. Don't ever say that somebody who ran over 70 people and killed 6 is a caged bird. I'm going to keep the rest of my thoughts to myself because it was about to go a little off the deep end. It was about to go off the deep end because I ain't going to talk about nobody like that. I ain't going to talk about nobody like that, especially because of who it is. That's disrespectful and I would never. But this man, yeah, he definitely should be in jail. I was confused as to why he had a trial. Unfortunately, I can't find the actual trial. It looked like back then nobody was like streaming trials, so I can't see all that I need to see to be nosy. But I'm going to keep digging, I'm going to keep looking and see what I can find. I hope y'all enjoy this and this puzzle. And again, I got another channel, so if you want to see more about the puzzle, you got to go to that one. All right, y'all. Bye. All right, wait a minute. One more thing. So this man actually got up on the stand and the prosecuting attorney asked him, did he want to be put to death? And he actually said, yeah. I promise, y'all got to go watch this. This thing is the craziest thing in the world. He was convicted of the crime, of course, found guilty, as I said, for the title of the story. And he was sentenced to life in prison. They did not give him the death penalty, even though he seems like he is a clear-cut case for it. He's asking for it. He's a damaged man, and he says basically that he cannot be fixed. So yeah, I don't know why they would not have given him what he asked for after his crime, but I mean, I understand. I guess he just, it was one person, so I don't know. I don't know. All right, y'all, for real. Bye.